So we have Visions of Asia here on the Womanosphere Vs Manosphere TV. How you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I appreciate you coming out. So, why did you name your channel? Why did you name
Visions
it
of
Vision of Asia?
Asia. Well, it's just the things that I perceive of the world, my outlook, some of my opinions on social issues, and I do reaction videos. So it just kind of like, it just is visions of what I see the world as.
And why did you start a YouTube channel?
Initially, I just wanted to keep a vlog of my life, and I just I took an interest in making videos on the reaction or reactions of other people's videos, just because it's like you can't always get your opinion out to the actual person, but sometimes you just feel like you need to say something about the subject, whether you agree or disagree. So it's just my platform to express myself and I guess keep
Yeah.
record of my life.
Yeah. Now, when you started your YouTube channel, was there anything that happened that particular day or something of why, like what made you actually start it? Did something kind of spark in you or?
Uh, I guess I started a new milestone in my life. So initially, I guess I wanted a family channel where I kind of just grew my family or something. But the person that I was engaged to initially, we broke up like almost within months of me starting the channel. So I took a period of time away and just got back into it because I mean it still was my dream to just at least keep record of my life so that my daughter she could, look at my channel and just see our experiences, I guess, together.
How do you handle trolls?
For the most part, I don't get a lot of negative feedback, to be honest. So when I do get it, it's not important for me to even pay attention to because I do get so much more positivity. I try not to even think about the negative.
And they also give you watch hours, right?
How many do I
No,
have?
I said the trolls, they also give you watch hours, right?
Oh yeah, at the end of the day, every view counts, so I appreciate it.
For the new YouTubers, right? People that want to start their YouTube, as far as you've been an OG in the game, what advice do you have to new YouTubers?
You have to remain consistent. You have to upload at least every 2, 3. Don't let more than 4 or 5 days go by without an upload. It really hurts your channel. So as long as you're complete or constantly uploading and making sure that you pay attention to the views. So certain things that get more views, make sure you include more videos like that, maybe less of the ones that don't tend to get a lot of views. So when you're trying to grow your channel, you just get a consistent amount of people subscribing.
Yeah. So let's get into the topic, okay? So let's get into the topic. So this is let's see, personnel. Oh, went a little bit too far. Uh, what's about? We're talking about what? Toxic behaviors, right? Toxic behaviors. Now you do quite a bit of reaction videos, and you see some toxic behaviors, right? In general, what do you want to say about toxic behaviors?
Well, I would say I'm almost an expert on it because I would consider myself an ex-toxic person. So there was some level of toxicity in my life. And it's like I hit 30 and I was like, I got to make sure that not only am I doing right by the people around me, but I'm doing right with my finances so that I can truly have things that I want out of life. And so I guess look up when you're dating a toxic person, and I've had experience with that too. Speak firsthand on that issue.
Let's get into it. So, right, dating a toxic person. Dating. What's the first sign?
There's actually a few different signs. One of the very first things you'll notice is that the person that you're dealing with, they constantly need your attention. I mean, they're attention seekers overall, but they need you to kind of like be all into whatever they're doing and whatever they're trying to accomplish. They kind of are real self-centered, so they're not so much interested in what you want to do and what you want. They're more interested in getting you to do what they want. They're very manipulative. They get what they want from people. And you can pretty much expect them to want emotional support, and even at times not able to give it. So they're typically the people that are, they draw negativity into your life. Know it just by the way that they make you feel. They're jealous, like I said, self-centered, inconsistent, and they don't respect boundaries.
Yeah, I mean, how much time can you possibly give someone, right? How much time? How much time? But for them, it's not enough, you know? Yeah, for them, it's not enough. There's just not enough time you could possibly give them. And even when you're giving them so much time, now it's like, okay, why are you giving me so much time? Because, on the weekend, you're trying to go out and go do something else. It's just a never ending cycle, which they need help, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Toxic
And they're
behaviors,
typically
you know?
argumentative. They usually pick fights. They want to argue instead of settle.
Toxic communication. Toxic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So have you dated a toxic person before?
Yes.
Okay, I have so. I think. Listen, I've been toxic too. Listen, I've been toxic too. So I'm a pretty expert at this field, you know. Yeah, toxic communication is just there's just really no ending battle. Whether see thing about toxic communication, if you communicate with someone that's toxic, they're gonna be toxic, and if you don't communicate with them, they're gonna be toxic. And if you communicate with them exactly the way they want, they're still going to be toxic. So let's talk about what's some of the things about toxic communication you could think about.
The type of person that's quick to anger, and they usually resort to yelling instead of trying to talk. You can't communicate, and most people are not going to deal with you if you're yelling at them or just saying verbally abusive words. That's very toxic. And there's a lot of people that don't understand that. You can't
Yeah,
just talk to
even
people in no kind of way.
yeah, even listening to respond, not listening to understand is very, very toxic. And that happens a lot on these, you know, when I have like panels. Sometimes they're a lot of time they're just listening just to not to understand what the person is saying. They're just listening so they can know when they're gonna stop, and then you know, that's very toxic. Oh,
Right.
that'll become on my panel, my show. Yeah, toxic.
I bet.
That's definitely toxic. What about parents? Parents being toxic communication. What about the way they talk to their kids? You know, I've been
Exactly.
called every name, and listen, my self esteem is so high. My mom has said, "You can never say something to me I haven't heard." What do you think about parents toxic communication to their parents, to their children?
Yeah, you have parents that want you to do as they say, but not as they do. So that's kind of toxic in and of itself. Like if you're a really hypocritical parent trying to tell your kid go get straight A's, but yet you spend your weekends on the corner, doing God knows what. So it's like you have to be able to set an example and make sure you're talking to your kids with the kind of respect that you want them to receive from others, because believe it or not, if you talk to your kids like they're a piece of trash, they're going to kind of learn to accept that from anyone that they're dealing with, whether it be friendships or relationships.
No, most definitely. You know, have you ever been a toxic person yourself?
Yes, I have. I want to
Tell me
say
about it.
in my 20s, I was very incorrect in my thinking, and that's why I have enjoyed watching Kevin Samuels, because he helps me kind of reflect on the changes that I have made. Like, wow, I used to think and talk like a lot of these women, so there is hope for the younger ones, I do believe. But some of the ones that he talks to that are like over 40, 50 years old, those are the ones that are probably like lost cases. Because if you ain't learned it by now, it's like I don't know what to tell you. But for me, I guess, just being insecure in relationships, um, probably having a sense of entitlement, and sometimes feeling like things that people were doing for me weren't necessarily good enough. Bad thoughts and bad behaviors that definitely did not reap me good benefits. And so now I'm the kind of person I just learned to be just grateful about everything.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. So this is basically this is becoming a toxic person prevention course that me and Asia is giving y'all. So take notes, right?
Yes. I definitely have some notes on how to remove toxic behaviors.
Okay.
I mean, one of the number one things you can do is just be aware of yourself. Be aware of the things that you say to other people. Be willing to listen to others' complaints. Sometimes we don't like to hear when we're wrong, but if we actually just stop to listen and think about it, we can see that we're not exactly perfect. The world does not revolve around us, and we owe people just like they owe us. So
Yeah, most definitely. What about jealousy? Right? What do you think about jealousy?
that is a very, very ugly thing. I don't like to be it, and I don't like when people are just towards me. It's just a bad seed to sow. Um, there's all different types of it and forms. It can manifest in somebody just looking over at your phone, trying to see what you're doing, or somebody who constantly questions every move that you make, questions things that shouldn't even be questioned, like conversations with family members, and maybe you catch somebody going through your stuff. I mean, there's all kind of different ways that people can be jealous. Not just in relationships either. You have people that will be jealous of what you have, what you look like, and they'll shoot shots at you and stuff.
Yeah, you got jealous people that want to take what you have. It took you 10 years to earn it, to achieve that, and they want to take it away from you. It took you 10 years. Okay? It took you 10 years to get this. And I'm talking about, for me, my mindset, because I suffered from heavy depression before. So for me to get here, and the people that knew I've been through that, they some people they're not happy with me overcoming that, because they don't understand it's an everyday battle. It's never completely done, right? When it comes to your mindset, as far as the depression, it's an everyday thing, It's an everyday thing, So, hey, listen, y'all don't want to open up your scriptures. Open your scriptures. Start reading, I think you'll find a lot more peace, just like I did, because I didn't find it out in the streets, But jealousy and envy, jealousy is, it comes from family too, Comes from family too. I mean, am I envious of other YouTubers? I don't know. Am I envious of, because I always look at other YouTubers and say, okay, I want to achieve that. But am I jealous enough where I want to take their channel down? No. I'm probably envious to learn from them, see what they're doing, right? But not to stop what they're doing. If that makes sense,
Yeah, for sure. And maybe you're not jealous, but you just look at them in like an admiring kind of way. Like, I would like to have that. I don't want to take it from them. I just admire that, and I'm going to work hard, do what I got to do to make sure I get there too.
Yeah, and learn from them so that I can have some shortcuts, right? They can teach me what they did wrong.
Right,
Controlling behavior. Have you ever been controlling?
I would not say that I've ever been controlling. And I don't think anybody who knows me personally would say that I was like that either.
Okay. Yeah, because you got to listen to what others say about you, right?
Yeah.
So, I have been controlling, right? I've been controlling. I've been the type to say, let me see your phone. You don't want to show me your phone, you're cheating. But I think also, besides myself, that it was wrong. In that particular relationship, the person was showing me signs that they were not faithful. So I started certain things just didn't make sense, right? Have you ever been around someone you're dating and their phone never rings?
Oh, that black screen because they turned off notifications and all that.
I mean, like, all weekend. Your phone doesn't all day. Your phone doesn't ring or nothing. It's like, but you know, we
Something's
you
not
said you
right
have
there.
some experience in that.
Yes, that's a good sign that you're being cheated on. If the person that you're with, their phone never rings, it's because they turned off everything because there's someone that will call or will text, and it'll be a problem if you find out. So, yeah,
And
I've been
to the
there,
people
done
that's
that.
listening to that, I found out I've learned that you don't want to find out who that is because that may be someone else more crazy than the person you're dating, you know. so
Yeah.
uh so will you say to someone that's currently with someone that has controlling behaviors? Not just that, it could be family members, whatever, bosses, right? As well.
Mhm.
Will you say the controlling behaviors? How can someone avoid dealing with that?
Hmm. I mean, it's once you're kind of in a relationship with somebody that's controlling, you have to set boundaries, but it's kind of hard sometimes if you're already in that relationship. And sometimes you just have to leave that relationship because they can become violent, they can be aggressive if they don't get their way. And if you're in a situation like that, then definitely make your exit. But in situations with a boss and stuff, you got unions, you got HR you can go to, and there are ways around that. Um, and with family members, if you're a youngster and you got a controlling it and you don't have anyone else you can go to, I mean, the thing you can do is, I guess, just stick it out until you're 18, make your exit, and live the best life you can after that.
Yeah, I spoke to different parents, and a lot of some of the parents that's really controlling. It's an extreme fear base, right? They're so afraid. Some people are afraid of the future. Some people are afraid of, they learn about their family, and it was just repeated generational of alcoholics. So if they get a whiff of you drinking at all, it's just like, the end of the world, right? But controlling behaviors is very toxic. Boundaries from the beginning. Listen,
Yeah.
the best the best type of self defense is prevention. You may not be able to fight that person, but if you've seen them, you cross the street, they cross the street. You cross back the street, they cross the back the street. They're probably gonna rob you, not because they're black, probably because they're actually gonna rob you. Um, and yeah. So controlling, gotta get rid of that. Did you want to add something else about controlling?
I would just say if you are a controlling person, you have to understand that you need to let people be themselves. That's the
Mm.
best way to know that you're in the best relationship for you is if the person is kind to you and they love you without you and they're respectful of you without you doing anything that's controlling. If they're just there because they want to be and you haven't had to berate them in any kind of way or threaten them, then that's the better relationship to be in, letting people just be themselves. And then you should have like realistic expectations too, because a lot of times people get into relationship thinking like this person is going to be X, Y, and Z and do this 3, 4 nights out the week and have dinner on the table every single night, breakfast every morning, the house is always going to be clean. I mean, have realistic expectations for a person. Like if you're looking for, that's what Kevin Samuels always tries to get people to do, or women, I should say. Don't turn a blind eye to the average guy just because you have this pipe dream about a millionaire looking at you when there's only 3% women that probably would even attract those kind of guys. So be realistic.
Yeah, and if you look at all the rich people, okay, look at all the rich people that's married, not dating, that's actually married. Denzel Washington, the long list goes on. Their wife doesn't have a BBL. Okay,
Exactly.
maybe the
Not at all.
mistress, but their wife, the one that knows access to the banking account, all that Samuel Jackson. Look at all the actors. Look at all the famous people. Look at all the rich people. If you have a boss, right, you have a job, right? You have a boss, right? The boss wife, if he's married or he or she's married, they don't have all those extra stuff. Only poor people live with all that extraness.
It's true. That is very true.
So Resentment, right? Holding grudges. Is that toxic?
Absolutely. People have to learn to let stuff go. You
Yeah,
can't you
you
can't be
know.
mad about something that happened and then try to stay in a relationship. That's what creates the toxicness of it, because you're going to have some type of anger and resentment. And if you don't let it go, then it's just going to build up and build up. You're going to say little snarky things to each other that build up upon even more anger. And then eventually it's going to come out like flat out vitriol and you're going to be going head to head. So definitely have forgiveness in your heart.
Yeah, you know. It's not cool. It's definitely not cool. You know, holding resentment, holding grudges. It's like drinking poison, right? Drinking
Yeah.
poison and expecting the other person to die because
Couldn't
you're
have
hurting
said it better
yourself.
myself.
Now, that's for you, right? Now, imagine dating someone that holds grudges, holds resentment. Every time you get in an argument, you're always reminded of your failures in the relationship. You know, have you
Yes.
been in a relationship where um, an argument goes wrong and they just start bringing up stuff you did wrong or they assumed you did wrong?
Sad to say, yes, definitely. They'll even bring up bad things that happened to you in your life that were out of your control to try to hurt you, which is really messed up.
So, what do you suggest? Right? We're not giving anyone any actual relationship advice, but and also I want to give a disclaimer. Okay, the advice we're talking about toxic behavior, so we're not speaking on everyone, right, Ezra? We're
Absolutely
not speaking
not.
about everyone, but if this offends you, we're talking about you.
Right.
If you feel offended, then yes, it's for you. You toxic, okay? So Asia, tell the people, if you feel offended, you are toxic.
Hey, if you feel offended, you probably fall into the category of toxic.
And if Asia did a reaction video to you, you are toxic.
Definitely. I look for it. That's what I type in the Google search. Toxic people. And then
And
that's
it's
how I do
you.
my
You come
search.
up. Just want to get that
Exactly.
disclaimer out, okay? Just don't want people to be mad at us when we include everyone, right? But yeah, resentment, holding grudges, um, family makes it hard. Because how many times, family makes it hard, But I do what I recommend for family. It gets to a point where you just see them on the holidays. See them. Don't give them access to you. See them on the holiday. There's no way. There's no excuse. No one's accepted. No one's exempted from that. You're ruining my life. You're giving me these headaches. You're reminding me of my past and stuff that I was a child or whatever. I was forced to do whatever that happened to me. Listen, the first time you gotta go. Gotta go.
Yeah.
First time. That's it. Don't worry. You'll find another person. Oh, man, there's so many people. So many people. Make the person pay the rent. Get them out. Pay one more month rent. Get them out. So what do you think about this, right? Dishonesty.
Um, I think that, people are constantly dishonest with each other. We all probably tell little white lies every day, but it just, there's levels to it for sure. Like, you can't, I mean, if you have certain, I guess, expectations that you've talked about with your partner and you guys, want these specific I guess, classifications for your relationship. You want to be married, you want to have children, you want monogamy, blase, blase. And eventually you stop being a part of that. Like, you're not saving, you're not being a part of the building part of the marriage, or you're cheating and stuff like that, then, and you're lying and stuff. I think that's when it kind of like, it becomes wrong. Like, if you know your partner, I guess I'll give an example. Like, if you know your partner is sensitive about something, and they ask you a question like, "Hey, does this look nice on me?" And yeah, you know what? It doesn't look too great, but I'm not gonna say it in a way that hurts your feelings. I'm gonna be like, if you like it, I love it. That's what I might say. But if you feel like you want something for me, like really is a big serious topic, like we're supposed to be saving for this. Where's your half of the money? And I'm lying about it. I mean, stuff like that. That's a no go. You can't be dishonest about things that really matter, I guess.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, especially relationships, I don't want to know. Like, I don't want my girl coming home and telling me, "Yeah, 25 guys gave me their phone number." What? What we talking about? Like, a lot of things you got to keep to yourself. It's not necessary for the person to know, but you got to know the difference between serious, right, and non-serious.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, dishonesty. I mean, that's the biggest reason why people get divorced, right?
yeah, yeah. Money,
Dishonesty.
infidelity, and not being truthful with each other, and then I think lack of respect too, and that just goes with being toxic, like the type of people that react and then think about it later, but it's like already too late at that point. You already done did too much damage.
So, Asia, you believe in honesty, right?
Hmm.
Okay. In a relationship, open communication.
Yes. Hmm.
Okay. So let's say you've been with your partner for quite some time, right? And your partner says, "Hey, listen," he says, "Well, he wanted to cheat on you," but he says, "You know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to come and talk to you." What exact work? Because this show we do talk about communication, and a lot of women, ladies say what they want their man to be more open, have more communication. But on the panel, when men are being have more communication, they get yelled at and get in trouble for having open communication. What exact words do you want your partner to tell you that he was going to cheat on you, but he decided not to?
Um, if we had that kind of open honesty, I would appreciate it. I don't think I would be mad at all because I would be realistic in it. I mean, like if everything is going well, I'm doing what I need to do as a wife, and you still cheat, then I would be surprised. But for the most part, people cheat because something went wrong. You started mistreating them. You started, let's just call it what it is, withholding, the cookie. You know what I mean? Like you're not baking in the kitchen anymore, like literally. So it's like if that kind of thing happens, you fall off as a wife and you're not performing your duties, you can't very well expect somebody to sit around for months or even just a few weeks without, you know, especially if they're a high value man or something, like they can get it easy, it's just one of those things. Like I would appreciate honesty, and I would more than likely, I've been in relationships long enough to know like the signs of that kind of stuff, and it usually reflects upon my behaviors too. So, um, but I would have, like I said, I would appreciate the honesty more than being lied to. So either way it would hurt, but I think I would appreciate him just at least telling me so that I could either change something about our relationship or we can part ways if that's what it comes to.
I know this is really random, but due to inflation, due to people voting, people don't know how to vote. They vote based off their emotions. Toothpaste may be $10.
To what?
Toothpaste maybe $10.
Wow.
People ain't brushing their teeth now, right? Cause you,
Hey, once it's $10, we'll probably see a lot of people with yellow rotten teeth.
hopefully, I don't fit in that category now. But so what are some patterns of disrespect, right? What do you think? Well, first of all, before we move on to this, what else you have, you want to share? You have in your notes.
Um, hmm.
Something else you want? And give me one moment. I'm gonna close my window. 1 second. Hold on.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, you're there, you're back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay. I guess I just wanted to hit on real quick showing vulnerability and having accountability, because I feel like a lot of the people nowadays in general, not just women, but being in this PC culture where everyone is kind of encouraged to just feel and have so much emotion about everything,
But
people
mostly
tend
women.
to, huh?
But mostly women. Go ahead.
Yeah, mostly women, for sure. A lot of women don't ever want to admit when they're wrong. And I know a lot of women that their relationships have failed simply because they refuse to apologize. And I don't know what that's about for me. If someone told me that they hurt or I hurt them some way, somehow, and I care about them, I would definitely apologize. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't even realize it, you know, because sometimes we do get wrapped up in ourselves and we only see things our way. But that's where having an open mind and accountability comes in. And I think that's so important to not be toxic.
Yeah, like my mom growing up, she never apologized. She would just come in the room and look at me. Your food's on the table.
Oh.
I got you ice cream. Go ahead, go get your ice cream because you know that was her apology. You know. So what do you
I
think
guess
about
it's
this,
better
right?
than nothing.
Patterns of disrespect. Patterns of disrespect. What are some? What do you believe? What do you feel about? Because in relationships, when I say relationship, it doesn't matter. Coworker, boss, your spouse, family. I mean, because pattern of disrespect, that must mean you spoke to him already about the same issue, but it's a repetitive thing, you know. One thing I don't like about even this panel, even this show, like the people that's supposed to host, right? A host is very important for the show. Patterns are not showing up as a host, not as a panelist, you know. So what do you say to that, right? Someone that has a pattern of being disrespectful.
It just shows a lot of, to me, people like that don't really care about others very much. They're just kind of like self-centered and worried about what they got going on, you know, and they don't respect other people's time if you're not showing up and you're making appointments that you don't meet and stuff like that. I think that that's a big sign of disrespect of someone's time, for sure.
What about
And
what
I
about in relationships?
in relationships you can have patterns of disrespect. You know, say you're with somebody and they say something and it may be it's just a few words. I don't know, maybe they say something that's offensive in some kind of way. Maybe you have someone in your family that's mentally challenged and they keep saying the word retard and you've told them before, hey, don't say that word, it kind of offends me, and they keep doing it. That's a sign of disrespect. Or if you have somebody that's in a relationship and they constantly flirt with other people in front of you, that's a pattern of disrespect.
Yeah, I mean, you watched Lapeef Network, right? You watched them before?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. So I think one of the recent episodes, Ka, right? You know Ka? She is a elementary school teacher for I think special needs.
Hmm.
So they kept saying, I think they said retarded or special. They was making fun of them, and that really offended her. So we're talking about disrespect regarding what you just said, right?
Hmm.
People on there, they know what she does, for the most part. Um, I understand it's a show, but listen, man. When it comes to disrespect, you gotta nip that in the bud. The first, that cannot happen again. I don't know what else. I don't care if it's Tyler Perry. I don't care who it is. The first, that's it. The first time, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah. I don't know what else to say about that.
I mean, it just shows like certain people's ignorance to certain things. And sometimes you just gotta teach grown people stuff they should have already learned, but here you are teaching them now. So,
And we're online, so you can't go like this, right?
right, you can't.
So sometimes I tell people to lean forward a little bit. Like, lift your chin up, lean forward. Do you go like this? And just wave it. Go across the other side, What do you think about this, right? Have you ever been in a relationship where you share a banking account with that person?
No, I haven't. But me and my fiance have talked about like once we're married, definitely opening up a joint account to like save and pay bills or both out of two different ones, but
All right.
still maintaining our own accounts at the same time.
Of course. So let's throw him under the bus a little bit, right? Let's throw him way under the bus a little bit. So let's say he's financially irresponsible in your account. right? They count, both of y'all count. You don't have no other accounts. What do you have to say about that?
Oh, I'm gonna say something about it. I'm not the kind of person that's argumentative or angry. I usually try to come at people pretty easily, especially when it comes to money, because I know it's a touchy subject. So I wouldn't come at him angrily. I would just ask him, and hope that he would be honest. And then if I felt like I wasn't getting an honest answer, I would definitely do my own research into the funds and see what I could find out. And we would just assess at that point whether or not we were going to go forward with this joint account, because I'm not going to have somebody just blowing my money, you know?
You got to think about it. If you have $1,000, how long does it take you to make $1,000? Right? But
Yeah.
how quick does it take to spend $1,000?
Not hey, one bill could be that much, literally.
So yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I mean, I don't. Me and my partner, me and her have shared accounts, and I've never had any of those issues. As a matter of fact, I think it's blue. I think I spend more than her on just stupid. I be playing my game and mobile game, and they be saying like $5 to get this extra gun or something like that. All right, cool. Just you gotta put your thumb. But I don't know. That's really and people go through that stuff. Some men go through that with the wife is just spending ridiculously.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know women that are just like, hey, buy me diamonds. Not that it's a special occasion or anything, just buy me diamonds. So it's like some people just feel like they should be showered with really expensive things, even though it's not really in the man's budget. So,
that's why you just drive by, take your lady. Listen, fellas, you have a lady that overspends money. Sometimes you gotta remind them where they came from. Just drive in front of the projects and just take her out, take a nice stroll in the project. Remind her where she's about to go if she keeps it up. Where she's about to go back to. So
crazy.
constant stress. Now, this is a big, big one, right? As far as toxic behaviors, what do you have to say to constant stress?
I think it's terrible. I mean, if you're in a relationship that's stressing you out, I would definitely get out of it. I wouldn't even second guess it, because stress itself is so damaging to your physical health and leads to so many diseases that no relationship is worth that risk. It's just under no circumstance.
Yeah, that's yeah, constant stress coming from your that's abusive, right? That is definitely a form of abuse.
Yes.
Man, have you been in a relationship where you was constantly stressed?
Constantly, no. Periods of stress, yes. But it could have just been the fact that we were young too, and young people don't
Unnecessary
really know how to,
stress.
yeah, because we didn't know how to handle our emotions, handle certain situations, but now that, hindsight is always 2020, so you can always look back and be like, oh, well, if I had just kept my mouth quiet on this, then we probably wouldn't have had that big spiel. And just you live and you learn, I guess.
Yeah, constant stress is listen, man, it's like I said from the beginning. Sit your partner down and say, listen, this is something that it can't happen again. Phone call, ridiculous amount of phone calls, it can't happen again. I know some people that gave up their location. You know, they gave up their location so they won't have to be asked these questions about where they're at, and they still get questioned just to find out, did you leave your phone home? Because if you leave your phone home and go out somewhere else, it still shows you at the home location. Listen, stress, toxic from the beginning. Nip it in the bud and leave, or leave. Just there's so many people on this planet. You trust me, you won't be missed. Find a new person. What do you think? What do you think, Asia? When there's so much damage done in a relationship, do you think you should work it out or find a new person?
Oh, once you get to a certain damage level, I definitely think you should leave. Just because, like I said, the risk of staying and the stress that you've already caused each other far exceeds the benefit of being together. So at that point, at least if you be with someone new, you'll have a fresh start and no back history or anything to try to get over or to forgive while you're constantly getting in more quarrels and being mad at each other for new stuff. So I would say get out of it. I mean, not that I'm just for people breaking up, because some things are worth working out. It just kind of depends, like if you're smacking each other up, pulling guns out on each other and stuff like that, obviously don't be together. But if you're having simple arguments about, oh, well, you sleep on this side of the bed and I'm more comfortable on this one. I mean, some stuff is like small, and you can work out. But one thing that I will say though, I would not require any guy to tell me like his location and all that. That's creepy, stalkerish, and I would suggest anybody, if they're in a relationship like that, they should get out, because that sounds dangerous. Like if somebody's that worried about where you are and they don't trust you that much, that's creepy. And they might do some wild stuff. And I would not be in that.
Yeah, that's definitely like for my partner. I have her location right on my phone. I have a location because in New York City there's been an extreme increase in crime. Not just regular crime, like regular crime. This other day, last week, a guy was on the train station walking past a woman sitting down. He has shit in his right hand. He took the shit walking past and smudged it on her face. And then he went behind her and she was like this. He came behind her and smudged it all on her face. He got locked up and got released the same day. New York City, no bail. If you make under a certain amount, there's no bail. So stuff like that is reasons why I have her location on my phone.
Well, hey, you know what? In certain scenarios, yes, that's definitely needed. But, if you're on some, I just need to know where you are because I'm afraid you're cheating on me type stuff, that's what I mean. Like, if you're worried about the safety of your partner, absolutely. That's admirable that you do care enough. But if you're just on some, like I said, stalker, creepy, where you at? I don't believe you. That's a no-go.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's crazy. I've had that done to me. It's just like, what? I'm breathing. Like, you want to know how much air? Like, you want to breathe? No, get out of here. You can't have that.
Yeah,
Um, that stuff just leads to violence
yeah,
because it's
exactly.
never an ending. It's never a satisfied ending thing. It's healthy. Okay, for the opposite sex to interact with each other. It's called being human.
Hmm. Hmm.
AJ, if I known you before, right, and we just happen to bump into each other, and I say, "Wow, I haven't seen you. You got a few minutes? Yeah, I got about an hour. I got about an hour too. Let's go sit right there and drink some coffee." That's normal behavior. That's not like I'm trying to sleep with you. So
Right.
if you have a partner, he shouldn't be acting crazy because me and you are drinking coffee. That's just human interaction.
Yeah, yeah. Especially if you're like coworkers, I mean, if you guys are sitting at the same table, why wouldn't you have a conversation and you're eating together? I mean, sometimes that kind of stuff just happens, but it's
You
all
can't.
about trust in the relationship.
You cannot prevent cheating. Okay. You could probably prevent it that day, but you cannot prevent it. People have sex at work. Okay, you're not preventing nothing. You're not. You're not. As a matter of fact, you're pushing them to. You might as well just buy the guy the condom, so she could be protected, right? You might as well do that because that's what you're pushing her to go do.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think that's true. Like when you accuse somebody who's not cheating of cheating, it makes them therefore want to cheat. Because it's like, if I'm already being accused, I might as well go ahead and do it now because she's gonna think it anyway. So
Yeah, I know
that's
you're
more
cheating with. I know
like
you're cheating with Jessica. I know you're cheating with Jessica. Jessica. Wait a minute. I never looked at Jessica that way.
it. And you know what? My fiance has quite a few female friends. And I mean, he's not like hanging out with them or anything on a one-on-one basis or anything, but he has females that he interacts with at work, and we actually do work at the same place. So I'll see him having conversation with people. I don't need to jump in and see what they talking about and stuff like that. That would be too much. That's the kind of stuff that pushes people away, and it kind of, to me, it makes them want to probably break up with you because you're just so annoying about it. But if you allow them to do what they do, then he'll probably come look for me like, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. I wonder what you've been up to all day, So it's like you got to kind of like learn how to keep your partner interested by not being so available, I guess, you know?
Yeah, yeah, stress in a relationship is just it's crazy. I mean, you're really stressed at work for 8 to 12 hours, right? And then you come home. I always say before you walk in the door, anyone that before they walk in the door, they go like this, it's over, right? Or they sit in their car 5 minutes before going into the house. It's just like it's over. That relationship is done. It is done. Done, done. There's no counseling, that can help. Um, lack of self care, right? In a relationship, what do you think? Do you think this is a toxic behavior you would have and stop doing self care for yourself?
Yes, absolutely. And that's another situation where it's like, if I stop caring for myself, like I stop exercising and then I gain 100, 150 pounds. So my look is 100% different than how my fiance initially met me. Then I can't be upset if he didn't want to be with me anymore. Or even if the opposite happened, if I just started to exercise so much that I just got all anorexic on him or something. I mean, whatever the case may be, if you don't take care of your mental health, physical health, your partner has no reason to stay with you because you won't really do anything but bring them down too.
Yeah, and it's important for me due to me, periodically going through depression. I can't be around depressed people all the time, especially not my partner. She has to have an overall mental health that's decent, at least. Let me be the screwed up one, because you need balance. I'm up sometimes, then I'm down sometimes. I can't be around someone else that's down. Imagine you're not motivated to get out of bed, right? And you with someone else that's laying right next to you, and they didn't want to get out of bed. It's like, damn, who's gonna make my breakfast?
Exactly. Y'all be in bed all day together, waiting for each other to get up.
Yeah, lack of self care is horrible, and then you wonder why your partner's not into you anymore.
Hmm. And
Have you
why
ever
they,
went for like a holiday, like I guess like Thanksgiving, you get around family you haven't seen in a long time, right? Or maybe a year, and you see when your family they're just like they got fat from the
yeah, I
last
have
time you saw
seen
them.
that. Yeah, for sure.
Lack of self care, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, man. What do you think about this? Hope for change. You're just hoping your partner will change. You're hoping the situation. You're hoping your boss will give you a raise. He didn't do the last 9 years. Be hoping this year. You're hoping for change.
I mean, faith without works is dead. I don't think people should just hope for anything and not try to actually attain what it is that they're hoping for. And putting hope in other people is like a waste of time. You got to put hope in what you can do. You can't hope and put all your eggs and thinking that this person is perfect. Like even going forward into my relationship with my fiance, like we're gonna get married. I understand going into this that he could possibly change in 10 to 15 years. He may not be the same person that I'm marrying today or, whenever we do get married. But it's like, you take that chance. I mean, you absolutely have to if you want to be with somebody. You can't just, well, be all afraid about getting hurt or this or that. You got to take the chance, but you got to have realistic expectations, not look at the world like, oh, everything bad, but just understand that there's a lot of different possibilities.
Yeah. Do you and your partner have like a set regiment where y'all sit down 6 months, once a year, something like that, and just go over some basic tune-ups, like things you want to change or update in the relationship?
Yeah, every weekend we talk about different things about our future and stuff like that. It's just what I guess we've started from day one because we both, I mean, we're in our 30s, mid 30s. I'll be 34 in August. I think he just turned 35 in January. So it's like we both know exactly what it is that we need to do and what we want for the future. And we constantly talk to each other about different ways that we can achieve that.
Yeah. I think it's healthy. Don't, hoping your partner will change without communicating to them is stupid, so just a few moments ago, you mentioned eggs, right? So what do you think about this? Walking on eggshells. I hate that. Have you ever been in a relationship where you was walking on eggshells?
Yes, yes, absolutely. And it still did nothing for me. It's like the more you creep around and try to not ruffle anybody's feathers, the more easily their feathers are just ruffled. So it's almost like you should just be yourself. Like sometimes it's no avoiding the ticking time bomb.
Have you ever had a job when you was walking on eggshells?
Um,
Ever had a
no,
supervisor, a boss, or something, or no?
no.
I've been late so many times. I started to walk on eggshells.
Like, oh shoot. You're just sneaking in the back door, like, I hope they don't see me.
But no, walking on eggshells is man, that's so. It's just so. Would you do you think that's toxic? The fact that
Yeah.
you are walking on eggshells, are you a toxic person?
I don't think it makes you toxic. It makes whoever you're dealing with probably the toxic person. Like if you always feel like you're on defense mode, you might be dealing with a toxic person because you know they're gonna find a flaw in something you do, something you say, and so you're like really careful around them. And maybe to a certain degree that does make you toxic, especially if you choose to be in that situation. If it's a job, you don't, I mean, sometimes you can't choose where you work or who you work around, but if you're in a relationship, you're obviously choosing to be in that. And so maybe that does make you toxic if you're choosing to be with a person that's always, on your ass, basically.
Hmm. Yeah. Walking on eggshells, giving up your location due to someone not knowing not trusting where you're at, or checking your phone. I mean, that's just weird. Like if you leave my phone right here, I get out the shower and I can tell it's moved a little bit. It's like, what is that about? Because listen, if you don't trust your partner and you're looking for something, you're gonna find it. Okay, maybe they're not cheating, but just man, like I'm trying to tell you, it's healthy for people to have interactions, and sometimes it's just healthy flirting. I'm not saying that it's a good thing. I'm not saying it's great, but sometimes you just, it is what it is. But
Yeah,
if you're looking for something, you're gonna find it. Since you found it, take your treasure home and appreciate it. Appreciate the cheating.
right.
Yeah, but walking on eggshells is definitely it's horrible. So let's run through this, right? How to know you're dating a toxic person. What do you think? Do you have anything else you wanted to point out? You have written down, you wanted to say?
Um, let's see. I think I mentioned about the manipulation, the constantly texting, showing up uninvited to things.
Speak on
Um,
that. Speak on that.
Sometimes you'll have a person that'll just surprise you and you turn around and they're there in a place that you weren't expecting them to be. And it's like, oh, you're here checking up on me. I wonder why, and it makes you not, sometimes you're not even happy to see them because you know why they're doing it. And that's, I don't know. There are probably some women that thrive off of men being jealous over them, but for me, I've never liked that kind of stuff. I definitely don't like a guy acting all like your every waking moment is my world. No, that's not manly at all. Like,
So have you dated someone that showed up to a location you was at?
um, I have, and I think I nipped it in the bud to make sure that it didn't happen again because you have to put your foot down on stuff. Like you let them know like you're being weird, you're being stalkerish and creepy, and I'm gonna make you feel bad about it. And I don't care how you feel because you made me feel awkward about the fact that you're here. You know, sometimes you just gotta let a person know. That's where setting those boundaries come in. And then if they continue to be on that tip, then it's a done deal on that relationship. But if they stop, then they learn their lesson and you can move forward. And that's
Do
where
you
I
think they
work.
will stop?
I think it's possible because I mean, if you make a person feel like stupid enough, they'll probably not want to do it again. I would think.
Yeah, I do believe that those type of behaviors, like showing up to locations you didn't give them or you didn't tell them or just stuff like that, um, if it happens once, from your experience, what do you think, right? From experiencing that. You're not currently with that person, right? I hope not.
No.
Okay. So from your experience, should that have been the moment you left them?
Oh gosh, probably. Considering everything that went through after that. Yes.
So that was a big red flag, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you did you tell him you was gonna be there?
Yeah. I think he asked me, he had showed up at my job, which at the time was at a gym. And I told him, like, yeah, I'm at work. And granted, anybody can come up there. It's obviously a fitness center, but it just was like, you know, it just was one of those situations where you're not even a member here. You just want to come work out here for what?
Oh, so y'all
Like, you're
haven't
just
been together
watching it.
for y'all haven't been together for a year yet, right?
Who, my current fiance?
No, the one before that showed up.
Yeah, no, we weren't together for no years or nothing like that.
Yeah,
It's just
that's
somebody that I was dating, getting to know, and that's what turned me off quick. Like, okay.
oh.
But I mean, we still had more interactions because, sometimes, like I said, you let people know, and he didn't really want the membership anyway, so he had just came up there like trying out like a free pass, just seeing where I work, seeing who I'm interacting with, just checking up, being all creepy and stalkerish.
That's crazy. Yeah, I'm 37. Um, I'm 37. I just like I said, you cannot prevent cheating. You can't. You think you can. You can now. You can catch them and watch it, but you can't prevent it.
Yeah,
They're gonna do it. They're gonna
yeah.
do it. So if you're gonna be doing that, show up with condoms. Give it to her. Let her have her moment. You know what I mean? Um, let's see. The world is out to get. Have you dated someone that they believe the world is out to get them?
Um, hmm. I don't think so. No, I wouldn't say that. Have you?
The world's out to get. That was probably me. I think the world's
Oh,
out. Yeah, probably me. Just experiencing a lot of different things, and I think that was definitely toxic. Yeah, that was definitely toxic. So at that moment, you know what? I mean, she cheated, but besides her cheating, yeah, that was toxic for me. The world's out to get me because things just at that moment, things wasn't really working out for me. So I felt like this person not supporting, this person not supporting me, this person, not supporting me. And that's, during that time, the internet is really big now. That's how I'm able to communicate with you, right? But during
yeah,
that time, the internet wasn't you can only get support from the people you actually know physically, right?
sure.
So it's a little different. What about this? You think this is toxic? The conversation is never about you. Have you met someone? It can even be a friend or whatever. It's never about you.
Yes. Yes, definitely. I've been in situations, I've been in a relationship where if I even began to speak about anything that I was interested in or something I had going on, the person would either stop listening, stop all form of eye contact. Sometimes they would even get up and leave the room. And it just would be like, wow, you really don't give a darn what I have to say.
Oh wow, yeah. Or this
That's what I
person will
mean.
only
Toxic, huh?
say it again.
I just was gonna say, like, toxic people are so self-centered. Like, they are the true definition of narcissists because it's like it's all about them.
Yeah, I mean the conversation is never about you. Yeah, even as a child, I had a friend. He always wanted to do everything what he wanted to do. He wanted to do what he wanted to watch, what he wanted to. And I was just like, I don't want to watch that. But yeah, definitely the conversation never about you. I know people like that. They'll only contact me to tell me about them, or DM me and message me about what they got going on, what they don't like with them. And I'm like, damn, I'm having a really shitty day. You don't, you know. What about this? Have you? Okay, you feel tired after meeting them. Have you ever experienced that?
Like physically tired after being with somebody.
Like you just meet up with them, you seeing them, it could be friend code, whatever, and you feel drained after being around after being around them.
Yeah, I've been around somebody like that.
Just draining. Just draining. You feel like wow, like your life was sucked out of you. You know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
I
Have you ever been
technically had
that
a
person?
parent like that. Huh?
Have you ever been that person?
I don't think I have been. I don't know for sure, but I don't think I have been. I try to keep myself pretty upbeat and happy, making jokes, whatever. But I definitely my mom, she's no longer with us, but she was unfortunately the kind of person that when I was done being around her, I definitely felt drained. And I actually thought about it like earlier today, she would be the kind of person that I kind of would have to ignore her calls because she would call me so much. And it was because she constantly needed, like, I guess, someone to talk to, and I was one of the people that she always called, and it just would be like, man, sometimes I wouldn't even answer because it just was like so much. But she also dealt with like she was like clinically diagnosed with severe depression. So yeah.
Wow. Okay. Uh, and you know what? Okay. How do you handle that? Because like my grandmother, she's had five mental illnesses by 35. I'm 37. Schizophrenia. She had all that. So, um, yeah, I always tell my partner, just in case, if I start acting a little weird, I'm talking to the wall. No, but I mean, like, do you ever fear that that can snap into you? Her
um,
illness go to you or your child or
it crosses my mind, but whenever it does, I just kind of put it out and just make sure that I'm doing things in my life. Like you said earlier, the best medicine is like prevention, just making sure that I can keep my stress levels low, eat healthy, exercise, stretch, do yoga, whatever I have to do to keep a mental and physical sound place.
I mean,
So,
do you tell your partner do you have any precautions for your partner? Because most people probably don't notice, like, right? Schizophrenic, they don't know that they think you're crazy. Did your mom think she was depressed, or did she think you was depressed?
um,
Did she
I
know she
I
was?
think she understood that she was depressed and like she was on medication and stuff for it. Now she didn't actually go to counseling for whatever reason. She
Mm.
chose just the medical pill form of treatment, but um yeah, I can't even really say whether, I mean, I'm pretty sure she knew that she was depressed, but I don't think that she knew that she was toxic or draining to the other people around her as much as she was. I don't think she was aware of that. She kind of did blame her negative emotions and the way she reacted to things on the people around her, but she had a pretty poor way of handling her emotions, and I mean every emotion, from happy to sad to angry to anything. It was always it just was over the top, and I just try not to be that person, you know.
Was it always like that? Because Tiffany Haddish spoke on that. Her mom was great. Mom was great until my mom had a car accident and there was brain injury, and her mom was extremely toxic, abusive, everything after that car accident. So was your mom always like that when like raising you, or
Well, you know what? See, there's always a catalyst, and you're right. Like she was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer, and then that's when the mental stuff happened. Now she went into remission and she ended up living like 12 years after her diagnosis, but she never really got past the depression thing. Like that was something that she pretty much dealt with up until the end.
wow, would she ever admit that to you? Like when you have those because you told her mom after this happened, this is what kind of developed these issues. Have you spoken to her about that, or
Um,
to help her realize it's not her fault?
yeah, I think, you know, I'm pretty sure that's how she explained it to me. She just was like, I'm tired, I'm sad, I'm depressed. I have cancer. And, and she used to actually just call it the big C. She never really even said cancer like that. She's like, I got the big C. So, I don't have the energy today. And there were a lot of days she spent in bed, which I completely understand. I mean, I don't know what she was feeling. So I never like I said, I don't hold any of that against her. I definitely wasn't mad at her for being technically toxic because, like you said, it wasn't her fault. All those medications and the fact that she was sick. I mean, nobody likes to be sick. So all of that together was probably changing her personality.
Yeah, because my friend I had, mother got breast cancer. Sweetest woman in the world, sweetest. And I guess once you what do you have to go you have to go through once you have cancer, chemo, right? She became a very nasty person, very different, very. I just think she was very agitated. I would say that, and she reacts over. It's just completely different, and it was just like night and day the way she kind of switched, and yeah, just didn't care. So, but yes, I guess like your experience with your mom, right? After meeting with her, speaking to her, you just feel kind of drained out. A lot of friends are like that too. Just all their problems, and it's like, Jesus, no resolution.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't really have a positive word. It's like you're just there to just hear whatever they have to say, but sometimes when you're listening to a lot of sad things, it can be draining. But if that's what the person needs you there for, then that's what you're there for.
But not. But if it get now, not speaking of your mom, but when it comes to friends, listen, you gotta cut that. Listen from the beginning. What do you need me to do to help you? Is there something you need? If you need a vent, go see a therapist. Go see a therapist. I'm just having one of those bad days. You can go online and pay a therapist because what do you want me to do? Every now and then, of course, but if this is becoming your friend's habit of just contacting you and just go see a therapist, they get paid. Pay them. They'll sit there and listen to you, and they'll probably give you some actual steps you can do. But don't contact me for that because I got my own shit.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, did you have anything else on your notes you wanted to say?
No, no, that's it. I didn't have too much to say about it. I mean, just that I myself am a reformed toxic person, and my best advice is just be aware. Be aware of yourself, your actions, the things that you say.
You're a reformed person, so you went to what's that thing? Rehab, toxic rehab.
Right. Toxic rehab.